My name is Wendy Ashton. I'm 52 years old, and if you had asked me a month ago what my life looked like, I would have told you it was solid. Maybe not perfect, but real. Earned. Built piece by piece over decades. Now? Now it feels like I've been living inside a lie so well crafted. Even I believed it. Michael and I had been together for almost 30 years. We met when I was 19, barely out of my parents' house, still figuring out who I was. He was 22, confident in a way I wasn't yet, already talking about building something bigger. Back then, we didn't have anything. Our first apartment was tiny, the kind of place where the walls felt too thin, the floors creaked at night, and no matter how much you cleaned, there was always that faint smell, like something left behind by the last people who lived there. But we laughed a lot, we dreamed a lot, and we promised each other that one day we'd look back at that place and be proud of how far we'd come. We kept that promise. We built a life. Not overnight, not easily, but brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. 2 daughters, a house with a backyard, family vacations we could barely afford at the time but took anyway because we wanted the memories. Our oldest, Olivia, is 26 now. Brilliant, calculated. The kind of woman who never walks into a situation unprepared. She graduated top of her class, landed a high-paying corporate job, and got engaged to a man named Ethan. Finance, of course. Their wedding is set for October. Everything about her life looks polished, intentional, controlled. Then there's Zoe, 24. My baby. She's always been softer, more emotional. The kind of girl who sees beauty in things other people overlook. She paints, writes, disappears into her own little world sometimes. She used to follow me around the house when she was little, holding on to the hem of my shirt like I might vanish if she let go. She used to call me her best friend. I don't know when that changed. Or maybe I do. I just didn't want to admit it. Michael and I? We weren't perfect. No marriage that lasts 3 decades ever is. We fought about money when the girls were little. I worked long hours, sometimes 2 jobs, while he climbed his way up at work. There were nights I came home so exhausted I barely had the energy to speak. But we always found our way back. We always chose each other. That's what I believed anyway. That love wasn't about perfection. It was about endurance. You don't walk away when things get hard. You stay. You fix it. So when things started to feel different, I didn't panic. I adjusted. That's what you do after 30 years, right? You adapt. You don't jump to conclusions. At first, it was subtle. So subtle I almost missed it. Michael started guarding his phone. Not casually, not the normal, hey, that's private kind of way. This was different. One night, I picked it up just to check the time. Mine was charging across the room, and before I could even unlock the screen, he was already there, grabbing it. Too fast, too sharp. Wendy, come on. Boundaries. He said it like I'd crossed a line, like I was the one doing something wrong. Boundaries. After 30 years of shared bank accounts, shared passwords, shared everything, I laughed it off. Because what else was I supposed to do? Start a fight over a phone? No. I told myself I was overthinking. Then came the dinners. At first, I actually thought it was sweet. Michael spending time with the girls. Just the 3 of them. They used to do it once a month. Then it became twice. Then every other week. Then sometimes twice in 1 week. And every time I asked about it, I got the same answers. Short, vague, polished. Just dinner. Just catching up. Nothing exciting. That was the part that started to bother me. Because before, they used to tell me everything. Who said what they laughed about, even the boring details. But now, nothing. It was like those nights existed in a bubble I wasn't allowed into. One evening, I walked into the kitchen without them noticing. Zoe was mid-sentence. Do you think she knows? She froze, like someone had hit pause on her, Olivia turned slowly, her expression shifting in an instant, from relaxed to calculated. Knows what? I asked, keeping my tone light. Zoe looked at Olivia. Olivia smiled. Too quickly. Nothing, Mom. We're planning something for you. A surprise, Zoe added, her voice a little too high, a little too eager. I remember nodding, smiling, playing along. But inside, something tightened. A quiet little knot in my chest that refused to loosen. Then came the weekend trip. Michael told me he was visiting his brother. Simple, normal, no reason to question it. I didn't. A few days later, I was on the phone with Olivia. We were talking about nothing important when she casually said, "Yeah, Dad got a nice tan." I frowned. A tan? In Ohio? There was a pause. Barely a second. But I felt it. "Oh, we went to a tanning place before he left," she said quickly. Too quickly, like she'd already prepared the answer. I let it go. Outwardly. But internally, that knot pulled tighter. After that, I started noticing everything. Michael's clothes changed, sharper, newer, more intentional. He started going to the gym regularly, 3 times a week. He never cared about that before. And then there was the watch. Silver. Expensive. Sleek. I noticed it immediately. "When did you get that?" I asked one night. He barely looked up. Just a reward. Career milestone. Something about the way he said it. Flat. Detached. Like he didn't want to talk about it. I nodded. Because again, what was I supposed to do? Interrogate my husband over a watch? So I did what I'd been doing for months. I swallowed it. I rationalized it. I told myself people change. 30 years is a long time. We're not the same people we were at 19 and 22. Maybe this was just evolution. But that voice, that quiet, persistent voice in the back of my mind, it wouldn't go away. Something isn't right. Something isn't right. Something isn't right. And then, on a completely ordinary Tuesday, everything fell apart. I was sitting in my car outside a job site, scrolling through emails, half paying attention. Spam. Invoices. Nothing important. Until I saw it. Subject: Your husband is cheating on you. I almost laughed. Deleted it. Moved on. But something stopped me. A feeling. Instinct. Or maybe fear. I opened it. The message was short. Cold. Precise. Michael has been sleeping with his boss, Rebecca, for over a year. Everyone at the company knows. Except you. There was a video attached. I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering, my heart pounding in a way that didn't feel normal, didn't feel real. Because deep down, I think part of me already knew. I just didn't want proof. But I pressed play anyway. The video showed a company party. People laughing, music, drinks, normal. And then, Michael, sitting close to a woman I recognized instantly. Rebecca, his boss. Too close. Too comfortable. Like they belonged in each other's space. The camera shifted. And then I heard it. A woman's voice. Drunk. Laughing. Wait, isn't that his wife's husband? Yeah, someone said. And then, that sentence. The one that rewrote my entire life. Everyone knows they've been sleeping together for like a year. A year. The room spun. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get enough air. And those business trips? The woman kept going. Please, and that watch? He didn't buy that. She did. The watch. The video ended, and I just sat there, staring at nothing, hearing everything. The dinners, the whispers, my daughters. Because suddenly, it all made sense. And the worst part? It wasn't just that my husband had been lying to me. It was that I wasn't the only one. I didn't cry. That's the part that still scares me. I didn't scream. I didn't call him. I didn't even breathe properly for what felt like 10 minutes. I just sat there, holding my phone, replaying the video over and over like if I watched it enough times, something would change. It didn't. Instead, something else happened. Pieces started falling into place, one by one, too neatly, too perfectly. The dinners, the whispers, Olivia's pause on the phone, Zoe's too quick, surprise, the watch, my daughters. That realization hit harder than the video. Because cheating, as disgusting as it is, it's almost predictable. People do it. They make selfish choices. They destroy things. But your children? Helping? Lying? Looking you in the eye every single day? And choosing someone else over you? That's something else entirely. I drove home that day, but I didn't go inside. I just sat in the driveway, staring at the front door like it belonged to someone else. Like if I stepped inside, everything would become real. So I didn't. Instead, I called the only person I trusted to tell me the truth. My brother, Daniel. He answered on the second ring. Wendy, everything okay? I didn't say anything. I just sent him the video. There was silence on the line for a long time. Then, Wendy. His voice changed. Lower. Tighter. You need to be smart about this. Not, maybe it's fake. Not, you're overthinking. Not even, are you okay? He believed it. Immediately. And somehow, that hurt even more. I want to confront him, I whispered. I know, he said. But don't. Not yet. You need more than this. More than a video of your husband being exposed at a company party. More than strangers laughing about his affair like it was common knowledge. I swallowed hard. What do I do? Watch, he said simply. And don't let them know you know. So that's what I did. That night, when Michael came home, I smiled. I asked him how his day was. I made dinner. I listened to him talk about work like nothing had changed. And he lied. Effortlessly. That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not when I saw the video, not when I heard the truth, but when I sat across from him and realized how easy it was for him to pretend. 2 days later, he told me he was going out. Dinner with the girls, he said, grabbing his coat. Don't wait up. I smiled again. Have fun. My hands were shaking the second he walked out the door. I waited 10 minutes. Then I grabbed my keys. I knew where they usually went. A small restaurant across town. Quiet. Familiar. Safe. I parked across the street. Sat there. Watching. 20 minutes passed. Then 30. No Michael. But through the window, I saw them. Olivia. Zoe. Sitting at their usual table. Laughing. Talking. Alone. My stomach dropped. I pulled out my phone and texted Olivia. Hey, did your dad make it there yet? The reply came almost instantly. Yeah, he's here. Why? I stared at the message. Read it again. And again. Something inside my chest. Snapped. Not cracked. Not shifted. Snapped. They didn't hesitate. They didn't question it. They didn't even try to soften the lie. They just lied. Like it was nothing. Like I was nothing. I opened the tracking app on my phone, the one Michael and I had installed years ago for safety. His location wasn't at the restaurant. It was across town, at an upscale Italian place I'd only been to once, for our anniversary. Years ago. I didn't think. I didn't hesitate. I drove. Every second felt heavier than the last, like I already knew what I was about to see. But my body hadn't caught up yet. I parked, walked toward the window. And there he was. Michael. Sitting so close to her it barely looked like two separate people. Rebecca. Her hand resting lightly on his arm. His body angled toward hers. Like the entire world had disappeared. And it was just them. He smiled. That same smile he used to give me. She leaned in, rested her head on his shoulder, and he didn't pull away. I felt something rise in my throat, sharp, burning. I forced it down, because I wasn't going to break. Not here. Not like this. Instead, I took out my phone, and I started taking pictures. 1, 2, 10, 20. Proof. If they were going to lie, I was going to make sure they could never deny it. My hands steadied the longer I stood there, the shock turning into something colder, clearer. Then I opened our family group chat, the one with everyone. Michael, Olivia, Zoe, my brother, his parents, mine, cousins, aunts, all of them. I attached the photos, and I typed one sentence. Hope you're all enjoying dinner. Looks like Michael is having a great time with his boss. I hit send, and just like that, the silence exploded. My phone started buzzing immediately. Messages flooding in, calls, questions, confusion. What is this? Wendy, please tell me this isn't real. Michael? I didn't respond, because for the first time in days, I didn't need answers. I already had them. By the time I got home, they were all there. Michael, Olivia, Zoe, sitting in the living room like a scene waiting to unfold. Mom, what's going on? Zoe asked, her voice trembling. We've been trying to call you. I didn't answer. I walked past them, set my keys down. Then slowly, I turned. Explain it. My voice didn't shake, but theirs did. Michael looked pale. Olivia looked calculating. Zoe looked like she was about to fall apart. Wendy, Michael started. How long? I cut him off. Silence. How long? I repeated. This time, he answered. 15 months. The number echoed in the room. Heavy. Suffocating. I turned to my daughters. And you? Zoe broke first, tears spilling instantly. I'm so sorry, Mom. Don't. Olivia snapped, her tone sharp. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't recognize my own child. How long have you known? I asked. She didn't hesitate. Since the beginning. Something inside me went completely still. No anger, no tears. Just emptiness. So all those dinners, I said slowly. All those nights. They needed time, Olivia said calmly. Mom, you have to understand. No, I said, my voice sharper now. You have to understand. I stepped closer. You sat across from me, every single day, and lied. Zoe sobbed harder. I didn't want to hurt you. You already did. I turned back to Michael. You had options, I said quietly. You could have talked to me. You could have left. I was going to. When? I snapped. After 2 years? 3? He didn't answer. Of course he didn't. Because there was no version of this where he didn't lose. But I had. I had already lost everything. You know what hurts the most? I said, my voice lowering again. It's not the affair. 3 pairs of eyes snapped to me. It's the fact that the 3 people I trusted most in this world, I swallowed hard, chose to lie to me, together. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Final. So what now? Olivia asked, practical, cold. I looked at her, then at Zoe, then at Michael. And for the first time, I felt something shift inside me. Not pain, not grief, something sharper. Clarity. You leave, I said quietly. What? Zoe whispered. All of you. Mom, please. Zoe started. Get out. My voice broke through the room like glass shattering. I can't even look at you right now. No one moved. Out, I screamed. That did it. Zoe collapsed into tears. Olivia grabbed her arm. Michael didn't even try to argue. They left, one by one. And when the door finally closed, the silence that followed was louder than anything I'd ever heard. The house felt wrong after they left. Too quiet, too clean, too empty. I stood there for a long time, staring at the front door like it might open again. Like this was all some kind of mistake. Like any second now, Zoe would come running back in, crying, throwing her arms around me, saying, Mom, I didn't mean it. But the door stayed closed. And that's when it hit me. Not the affair. Not even the lies. The loss. 30 years of memories suddenly felt contaminated. Every holiday, every birthday, every family dinner where I thought we were whole. How many of those moments had been real? And how many had been performances? I didn't sleep that night, or the next, or the one after that. I just existed, moved from room to room, sat on the couch, stared at walls. My phone kept lighting up. Michael, Olivia, Zoe. I ignored all of them. What was there left to say? After a few days, the messages started to change. Michael went from, "I'm sorry, Wendy. Please let me explain," to, "You're being unreasonable. We need to talk like adults," to, "I'm worried about you. At least tell me you're okay." The audacity of it made my stomach turn. "Olivia?" She sent exactly one message. "You're overreacting. When you're ready to have a mature conversation, let me know." I almost laughed. My entire life had just been dismantled. And she was talking about maturity. Zoe was different. She called constantly, left voicemails, crying, apologizing, begging. "Mom, please. I know I messed up. I just didn't know what to do. He said if you found out, everything would fall apart." I listened to one of them. Just one. And that was enough. Because even in her apology, she was still protecting him, still explaining, still justifying. That hurt more than the lie itself. A week later, my brother Daniel forced me out of the house, literally. Showed up, grabbed my keys, and said, "Get in the car. You're not dying in that living room." He was right. I hated that he was right. That's when things started to shift. Not emotionally. Not yet. Logically. I called a lawyer. I remember sitting across from him, sliding my phone across the table. The video. The photos. Everything. He watched it all in silence, then leaned back. "You have a strong case," he said. "But you need to be careful." Careful. "Don't leave the house," he continued. "That can be used against you. Don't touch joint accounts recklessly. But move your half. Document everything." So I did. For the first time in my life, I stopped reacting and started thinking. I changed the locks, moved half the money, started recording every interaction. A few days later, Michael showed up. With Olivia. They knocked like they had a right to be there. I opened the door, but I didn't step aside. "We need to get our things," Olivia said. "No," I replied calmly. "You'll get them when my lawyer says you can." Her expression hardened. "My wedding is in 2 months," she snapped. "Are you really going to ruin that over this?" Over this. I almost admired the way she minimized it. "A mistake is forgetting to pay a bill," I said quietly. This was a choice. 15 months of choices. "And you," I added, looking directly at her, "were part of every single one." Michael tried to step in. "Wendy, please. Don't." One word. That's all it took to shut him up. They left angry, frustrated, entitled. And I closed the door without a second thought. 2 weeks later, Zoe asked to meet. I almost said no. But something in me, some leftover piece of who I used to be, said yes. We met at a small coffee shop. She looked wrecked. Dark circles, hair unwashed, wearing the same hoodie she'd had since high school. "I'm so sorry, Mom," she whispered the second I sat down. I studied her face, trying to find the little girl I used to know. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. She broke. "He said it was temporary," she said. "That he was going through something, that if you found out, you'd leave, and everything would fall apart. So instead," I said slowly, "you helped him lie to me." "I didn't know what to do," she cried. I leaned back, tired, so tired. "You knew it was wrong." She didn't answer, because she didn't need to. "I need time," I said finally. She nodded, crying. "I understand." but I could see it in her eyes. She didn't. Not really. The divorce turned ugly. Fast. Michael's lawyer tried to paint me as cold, distant, emotionally unavailable. Like somehow, his betrayal was my fault. I didn't settle. Not this time. Because this wasn't about money anymore. It was about truth. Then one day, my lawyer called. "You might want to see this," he said. He turned his laptop toward me. Facebook. Michael's page. A photo. Him. Her. Olivia. All smiling. At some expensive restaurant. The caption? "So blessed to be surrounded by love as we blend our families." Rebecca said yes. Yes. Engaged. Before the divorce was even finalized. And Olivia? She commented. "So happy for you both. Can't wait to celebrate 2 weddings." 2 weddings. I stared at the screen. Something inside me didn't break. It froze. Because in that moment, I understood something clearly. They weren't ashamed. They weren't confused. They weren't even sorry. They had moved on. Without me. Like I had never mattered. And that's when I made my decision. "I want to change my will," I told my lawyer. He blinked. "Are you sure?" I didn't hesitate. "I want everything to go to Daniel. And his kids." "And my daughters?" he asked carefully. "They made their choice," I said. "Now I'm making mine." The fallout was immediate. Olivia called me everything you could imagine. Petty, cruel, vindictive. Zoe called too, crying so hard she could barely speak. "You can't do this, Mom. Please." I already did. Silence. Then, "You're really cutting us off?" I took a breath. "No," I said quietly. "You did that. I'm just accepting it." She hung up. And for the first time in weeks, I slept. No dreams, no memories, no pain. Just silence. Peaceful, empty silence. 5 months later, my life looks completely different. The divorce is finalized. Michael got far less than he expected. He married her 2 weeks after. Of course he did. I sold the house. Too many memories. Too many ghosts. I bought something smaller. Closer to work. Simple. Quiet. Mine. I haven't heard from Olivia. Zoe showed up once. Begging. Crying. Promising to fix everything. But when she realized I wasn't changing my mind, something in her shifted. "You're throwing away your family," she said coldly. I looked at her. Really looked. "No," I said. "You did that." She left. I haven't seen her since. I've started seeing someone. Her name is James. He's kind. Patient. Divorced. He doesn't ask me to forget. He just meets me where I am. And for the first time in a long time, I feel something I didn't think I'd ever feel again. Peace. Do I miss my daughters? Sometimes. But it's not them. It's the idea of them. The versions I thought I raised. The ones who would never lie to me. Never betray me. Never choose someone else over their own mother. Those daughters? They never existed. And once I accepted that, I finally understood something. Family isn't blood. It's trust. It's loyalty. It's truth. And once those things are gone, there's nothing left to hold on to.